Welcome everyone to Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars. With another best of movie here with a comparison test. Will be very exciting again. It was one actually you requested recently, and this is today about the Audi RS3 versus the Mercedes A-Class AMG A45 AMG actually. So this one will be facelifted quite soon, then we'll also give you an update on that one, but there won't be so much changes. So you'll also live pretty much the same with the current versions that was available so far. It's also with our other Thomas reporter today with the A-Class then, also a great change for that one from time to time. And as a third car, I have put in another outsider in this case, the Volkswagen Scirocco R, which was very popular also when we reviewed that car for the first time. Actually, we would also have a Golf R, but that one was reviewed on snow, so it wasn't really a good comparison. I want to have something different because you gave us the feedback that it's also very nice if you have a comparison test with 3 or 4 cars and there's one car in it that is maybe a little bit different and not directly comparable, but also gives you some more spice in that one. So after the reviews, I actually want to see your comments about which one would you go for, and I also again state in my opinion which one would be my pick and why. So let's start here in the front with the design. We got, as usual, the huge single frame grille from Audi, and here we got the shiny comp structure in black and shiny. I think it's better than it's matte. It looks more high class in that way. We also got the huge Quattro logo here at the lower part, but be careful. If you pick the automatic cruise control where the distance is measured to the car in front of you, then it has to be placed below there, and then you do not have this huge Quattro sign. We had it in discussion before. Some of you really like that one and some of you don't. So I also want to hear your comments on that, what you think about the big Quattro sign here. Well, in other words, we also got bigger air intakes here. In this case, it's also not fake, it's real air intake here, also in this shiny black comp structure. And of course, we got a massive bumper here in the lower part, also very beautiful because we got the contrasting colors here with its gray and the black. And by the way, maybe you wonder what that color is. Actually, it's not a real special color because this is from serial production, €0 or dollars extra price. It is just this Nardo gray, but as it has this matte color, it really fits to this sporty car. And then about the dynamic features, if we just test here right and left, we got a very direct input to we the steering wheel, and actually just the steering wheel itself is really perfect, small enough, flattened end, and also good grip here on the sides. However, you see there's an Alcantara surface on the upper side and the lower side. I would have preferred if I also have an Alcantara grip here right and left, especially when you're sweating or so. Due to this compact size of the car, corners are really so much fun. And well, especially when you got quite a tight corners, it's even more fun than with the larger RS models from Audi. About driving in these seats here, these are the sport seats the Audi RS3 offers, and well, as we used from the Audi sport seats, they are very comfortable and very sporty at the same time. I like especially the shoulder comfort, because actually when you're going faster, also on the fast corners, it really keeps you tight into the seat. But it's not only for the sporty driving, also if you're just on a very long trip, it helps you really if you got that shoulder support, and also takes some weight off your lower back, and that really helps. So altogether, I must say, the driving experience here is very sporty, as we have expected, of course, and you can really say I think it is more fun, more sporty than the bigger RS models, with the coast off being not that calm on the motorway, just in the comparison to the other RS models. But the most of the interesting things we see here is just with the RS design package that is optional. Well, I would have expected that these ones are maybe included, and I'm showing you the details what I mean. So, starting with the seats here, I'm showing you at the co-driver seat. This is the Audi Sport seat here for the RS. Really good support in the lower part as well as in the upper part. I love the shoulder segment especially because it really keeps you tight, but also offers you long-term comfort. Also in this comped structure here. And one more nice design detail, it's the seat belt here with the contrast color in the red, but also just part of the RS design package, so you have to pick that one if you want to look very cool in these red belts. So let's take a look at the cockpit. We see basically, you know it from the Audi A3, the basic models, but we have some tweaks and they again have to do with the RS design package. For example, the red color here inside the air vents, that is very nice. The touchscreen can be lifted up here. That's also a very clean solution, just that you can see the GPS. Everything is controlled via the central MMI unit. You can see in this case we got the best GPS that is possible. Also got the satellite view. We also have a view from above here from our racetrack in Italy near Rome. And below here you can see the MMI terminal. I think it's a good solution, especially for the driver, because I do not have to use a touchscreen then. So while driving, you can very easily switch, for example, to the controls for your phone. You can also use the letters in here, like for example, putting an A for the GPS system. That also works with this system. And again, a very clean look here from the Audi interior. I think it's very, very well done. And I think Audi got here a very nice compromise between the buttons that are necessary actually and getting rid of those that are not really necessary and controlling everything of that then via the central screen. And another nice detail, I like this dark matte surface with a little structure in it in one direction, and as well, just to protect your knees, here this Alcantara surface covering the middle console. I love these details here, and I think Audi is also famous for looking into these details. Details, details, details. I know you love it, and as do I. For example, when getting out here on the front compartment, the inside door handle, look at this with a small gap inside. Just some beautiful piece of work. So let's take a look at the rear compartment, because the Audi RS3 will also be used in everyday driving, of course. And what do you realize? You know, I'm 1.86 meters tall, and I have the driver's seat as I would be driving, so as a tall driver I would be sitting there. And well, my knees still fit here in this compact car. See, even with the sport seats, they got small gaps here for the knees, and they really help you then. As for the headroom, well, it's pretty much fine, and just got that space above my head when I lean back. And I think, well, the space I get here is quite okay. You can expect more of a compact car, in my opinion.
Front end, also a lot of special detailing here. Very noticeable, this silver wing element here that leads from the central star of Untertürkheim to both sides. Very nice element. And then further down we have this spoiler lip here in black. And again, additional air inlets, because of course this engine needs more air than a bread and butter power plant. The acceleration is 4.6 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers. And another figure which impresses me very much, 17.1 seconds from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour. interior, the A-Class AMG A45 is very much designed in accordance to the powerful powertrain. So that means for extreme sporty driving. It starts with these beautifully bucket seats, where you can see this aluminum openings here in the seat back. Very nice. And we have this carbon fiber surface on the dashboard and the medium part of the dashboard running all across the dash from the passenger side to the driver's side. The 3 central air vents and also the 2 outer vents have red accents here. Anyway, the main theme, the color theme of the car is black and red. So we have the contrast red stitching here on the upper part of the instrument panel. We have a lot of red in the seats also. And what I particularly like is this very nice little jewel here, this gear shifter with the AMG badge here, which is also on the key, by the way. And also beautifully handcrafted are these pedal shifts here on the steering wheel. So, and the pedal shifts, I can tell you, very immediate response. Whenever you pull them, immediately the powertrain shows a reaction. So it's really a cockpit, a driver's cockpit that really wants fast driving styles. So it's in a nutshell, it's a cockpit that really cries for fast driving, for sporty driving. And also we have red, by the way, red seat belts here.
Exactly 40 years ago, Volkswagen first introduced this warm and humid wind from the southeast, the Scirocco. The Scirocco concept is a sports car for everyone. Not that expensive and still very sporty already. And so there was a long break between the old model and the new one. More new features await us in the interior. The interior has been updated. It's more classy than the old one. We got a new steering wheel, especially here in the R version, the R steering wheel, which is very beautiful. We got the flattened end, also contrast stitches in white at the inside of the steering wheel. In general, I think the steering wheel could be a bit smaller. It's quite huge for such a sporty car. The instruments look very beautiful, especially because here in the R version we got blue arrows, and which is the best feature, the best new feature, are these 3 new instruments. They're some kind of homage on the old Scirocco. We got motor oil temperature here, turbocharged pressure, and as well as a lap timer. These here are the standard sports seats. They got textile on the center and Alcantara on the sides. Although this is a quite low and sporty car, it is very comfortable, also thanks to the seats. There are also sports leather seats, even more sporty leather seats available. They cost extra and they got this kind of classy sports car style at the sides with gaps here as well. If you want to get in the back of the car, you have to pull this one here. It's quite practical because it slides forward. Here at the sides you see we got also possibility for your jackets. That's quite practical, especially when you're driving alone or with 2 persons. And now I'm trying the back seat. Whoa. You really have to be sporty for that, at least. Okay. It is not a car for 4 persons, to be clear, yes. But we got 2 single seats here in the back. That's quite exciting. They look pretty cool, at least. Well, I actually got enough room for my legs, for my knees. That's pretty much okay. But you see, the limit is the headroom. But due to the 2 single seats, when you're not that tall, let's say maybe 170 or something in meters, then it's also quite okay for the headspace. I'm almost to 190 now and I already get problems. As for the trunk, it's still a nice feature that, just as in the Golf, you turn the logo and then you get a relatively high loading sill, so it's not that easy to put things in there. But if you come closer, then it's quite steep and you got still enough space, for example, for your beer cans or something like that. It is a bit limited, but I think for such a compact car, it's still okay. You can really combine sporty car driving here and still go on holiday, for example. Started driving now. You heard the sound. It sounds quite cool, but it's not too bad, for example, when you're inside the city, so you don't arouse too much attention with it. It's more like being something like an understatement, you know. And I like the illuminated blue arrows here I've shown you already in the instruments. And now I can control the nice sporty steering wheel. And I got a lot of power. It's a 2-liter turbo petrol engine here with 280 horsepower. That's 15 horsepower more than in the previous R version. This gives you always torque just when you need it. We've never lacked power here. We're driving the manual shifting version here. And as usual for Volkswagen, the whole shifting process is very, very smooth. There is also a DSG available here, the dual clutch transmission. I would really recommend that. Some people say, okay, such a sporty, pure car should be manually shifted. What's your opinion on that? I think the DSG is just awesome, so you should go for it. So, and now we can try how it sounds here from the inside when I shift downwards. 3rd gear now. What do you think? It's nice, isn't it? Still, you got a comfortable ride, I must say. It feels, let me say, a little bit like in a Golf, but lower. And you got this sporty atmosphere because you got a limited vision from the upper end, so you feel like you're in a sporty car. And, well, of course, when you turn this car sideways, you got more response than in the Golf. So the R version is really a lot of fun, and still you feel like you're in a normal car. You don't have this feeling like you can't really use it in everyday life. For example, like when you're driving a McLaren or something like that. About the performance hatch comparison, so I called it that way, actually the Audi RS3 and both the A45AMG, they're both very good performance cars, really great handling, but they're very expensive. And then if you think about buying a compact car at that price, I'm not so sure about that. The Volkswagen Scirocco R, on the other hand, is relatively cheap, already in the basic version and still as the R version, so you save a lot of money with it. Yes, you don't have the all-wheel drive, that's maybe one aspect, but in most of the cases you don't really need it. So I think the Scirocco really has a very good price-performance ratio, and in this case, together with a more spectacular design than a normal hatch has, this is my favorite in this comparison then. So the outsider won it for me at least. Looking forward also to your comments about that one, if you share that one or not. And I hope I see you also at the next comparison with Autogefühl.